Cargo route risk rating is a geospatial methodology that allows decision makers to make informed and data-driven judgments about the political violent risks to supply chains. Now, our motivation for developing this methodology is that in many environments we see that political violence risks are a critical factor that really needs to be considered when choosing between transportation options, just like other variables such as road distance or the quality of road infrastructure. Now, what this really is about is putting supply chains at the center of geospatial analysis and allowing us to identify points of vulnerability along a particular route, or even points of vulnerability anywhere across a particular road network. In terms of how the methodology works, we start with two key data inputs, and the first of these is the transportation data. So most likely we'll be talking about a geospatial layer that represents the road network of a particular country. But we might also be talking about pipelines or rail networks instead. Then the second data input is our political violence risk model, and that allows us to extract very high resolution risk scores for any location around the world. And then what we do essentially is run the transportation data through the political violence risk model, and this will generate a unique score not just for each route within a particular network, but for any particular segment within a network. So the key here really is differentiation and detail, and what we find in a lot of the environments that we look at is that it's local level factors such as the human or the geographic terrain that really shape where we see risks and how these affect cargo. So our modelling needs to be in tune with these factors. We chose to look at Guinea in West Africa as a case study to test out our methodology because there are considerable natural resources within the country's interior, but there are also significant challenges in terms of transporting materials to and from the port infrastructure on the West African coast. Now, we found that once we ran the road data for Guinea against our political violence model, that whilst we consider in overall terms Guinea to be a high-risk country, there are significant differences between different routes, and in fact we found that particular stretches of highway were at much higher risk than others. And we also looked at the transportation options available to operators in the Nzerekore mining region, which is in the southeast of Guinea. And anyone looking at the map can see quite clearly that given the location of this region, the transportation corridor via Liberia is much shorter than the transportation corridor via Guinea itself. But we actually found from our model, which was particularly interesting, was that the Liberian option is much more preferable in terms of political violence risks as well.